It's always funny until you need money. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The 34th annual Crestone Energy Fair was an awesome weekend. We had a great time vending. We had a great time listening to all the talks. Lee and I gave some talks. There was controversy and there was commotion, but there were vendors everywhere, people everywhere. It was an awesome time. And good news, there weren't any mosquitoes.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
So we've got Nick Navarez, Lisa Bodie, two of the top people that are the organizers for the event. They've been working on it for years now. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, Diamond. Good to see you again. Thanks.
Good to see you guys. We're now coming together from all across the country. And this is an appeal to the folks to get involved with the Crestone Energy Fair. Who wants to start?
I can start. So this year's Energy Fair was fantastic. We had thousands of people congregate in the town of Crestone for 2 days of amazing talks, food, music, and really just coming together of different ideas, from around the world on sustainable living. This year though, we even had some controversy. We had, which I think is really important, having people come together and argue, hopefully in a way that is constructive. You got a chance to deal with a not so constructive way of communicating. However, I think that it still created a larger conversation in the community and in the valley at large, about communicating and about dealing with people who don't agree with each other, but learning how to talk and not talk, what our best practices there. So I thought that was still positive at the end. And I think
Positive and progressive. I've been saying that for years.
Well, I think you did a great job. You did a great job holding your own and not going to a negative place like she did at you. So I was really impressed by your response and continual response, in the newspaper afterwards. There are, I think, like 3 newspapers that picked it up in the region. And definitely everyone was very supportive of you and really very, impressed with the way that you handled it, because you definitely could have gone into a negative space like she did. So thank you again for really keeping that together. Because I think
I appreciate you guys. Freedom of speech is important. Everyone needs to have the ability to have their own platform and their own point of view.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line. Everyone needs the ability to have their own platform and point of view. We can't shut people down because they may think differently than we do.
No.
Or you do.
Right.
That would be a weird world. Could you imagine if we all thought exactly the same? What would that even be? That'd be like Plastic Verse or something.
Yeah. And so just like everyone right now, we had applied for a grant that we were more or less told we were going to get. And at the last minute, we found out that we didn't get it. So we had actually created a budget around, an assumption that I guess we shouldn't have necessarily made, but that we were told by the people who were administering it that we were going to get it. And so now we are, looking for some funds from the community to help us, just continue moving forward with this, with closing our books for the year.
Okay, so I get it now. Bodie is the one that got the grant. Now, how much was the grant for, Bodie?
Well, we always get supported by the Saguache County with their sales tax grants.
Yes.
So
and they were amazing this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
they gave us $5,000.
And they reneged?
No. They supported our home tours with Goldie, and Goldie also got an ongoing education grant from them for year round. And they supported, one of the things where we branched out was we had our outside contractors, like Doug, not Doug does our video, but Rob, who does our sound, his partner who does our family village, our artists who did that installation. They wrote their own grants this year. So we're trying to empower the community. They're all professionals with really amazing skill sets.
Yeah.
But it was an outside funder. But Nick, I think more importantly it was more that we expanded. So one of the things that we've really listened with our evaluations in the last couple of years is, instead of building something for the event and tearing down, we want it to be more sustainable. We want it to be a model year round. We want the community to be able to use these things and to teach natural building. So, Nick with his real estate agency with Mountainside Realty, and then our Crestone Energy Exchange, he fundraised to get a permanent stage in the middle of town, which now could be used for all different events. It's not utilizing those resources to tear down, and it's beautiful, straight pole construction
Yeah,
from the wood
literally ridiculous to build and tear down that thing every
every
year.
year.
It's like, whose idea was that? That permanent stage is awesome. Good job, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
no, we didn't use any funds from the Energy Fair to actually build that. I fundraised that separately.
In a small community, we have a pretty limited pool of donors. And so when you get your donors that primarily might give to the event, they gave to that.
They
And
gave to my thing instead.
In
Oh,
addition,
so you stole from your own event. All right, let's get to the bottom. What is the hole that we're looking at?
And then we also included a new natural build where we did all our demonstrations. So now instead of just showing a little mini model, we have a full building at
That's the
Benji
shed
Hotel.
over at the place with the I've seen that.
Yeah,
so now you've got straw bale, you've got stonework with the Crestone conglomerate rocks that's local with local masons. You have Sean King who's doing the cob, Suzanne Rouget doing hempcrete, and then Tony with the straw bale. So you've got all of these different models now that is an educational site and starting to bring in the charter school students to teach the kids. So that again diverted funds that we weren't planning on. And so when you're working with volunteers, primarily, we only give in this stipend range. Now that you're pulling that up, we have about 23 people that we give stipends to, and those only range from $100 to $1,000.
Yeah.
And we have several people who just haven't taken stipends because we want to make sure everyone else is covered and all of our other expenses. So
including
we are
myself
a little
and
short.
Lisa, who are like the main producers of this. Neither one of us have taken any money. In fact, it's like,
I think I've donated everything you've ever given me back to the fair.
Yeah. So
and last year we did pretty good as far as vending, and I think we donated hundreds of dollars. Plus, we had the Johnson Soup bioreactor raffle that was several $100s.
Right. Yep.
But the problem is that we started to pay people because they deserve it this year.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit of a deficit. And you can see here from the 2023 Energy Fair expenses that they are not tiny. There are so many aspects of this fair that need to be covered.
Yeah.
I mean,
and again, it's a free event,
that's
it's
free.
Like, we don't charge anything to attend this event. And, we try to make it as accessible as possible by then putting these videos onto our YouTube channel so that people can still continue to appreciate and learn from what we are showing. So, what we're asking, if you have the ability, reach into your pocket, shoot us $20-$50 would be awesome. If we get like 100 people to do that, we'd easily cover what our deficit is, so it's it's a labor of love for all of us. And we are just asking for a little additional support from the community after the fact, so we don't go into our 2024 fiscal year in the negative.
And the fact that we have weathered the storm of COVID and all that nonsense and the lockdowns, and we went off site. Now we're back in town, and there's a permanent stage. This is a blessing. Even though there's a deficit maybe of $10,000, it's a blessing because things are growing. Even though we were really set back in big ways.
Oh yeah.
The community came together, capitalized, and now you've got, what is this here? This is it, the Give, Send, Go, where people can give back to the Crestone Energy Fair and make it continue to grow and move forward.
Yeah. Colorado Gives Day is the largest fundraising platform in Colorado. So through Succeed, our fiscal sponsor, we've jumped onto that platform. And I want to say it was around $465 million that they actually raised for nonprofits this year. And they just had their big Colorado Gives Day push, and we did a small push. Part of our thing too is when you have volunteers, you're looking at marketing, graphic design, getting websites uploaded, working with outside platforms, grant writing. These are all really professional positions, and so a lot of people have to get back into their work. And so right now in this little bit of off organizing season, the majority of that then work then falls back to Nick and I again. So we're having fun. We're going to regroup everybody again in January. But yeah, right now we're just talking a few thousand, right? It's like if we could raise $5,000 to $10,000 just to cover this year, get everything squared away, then we start clean for next year. And
well, the Crestone Energy Fair is officially a 501c3 tax deductible donation.
Correct.
yes,
People need to know that, which is very significant. So if you're a big donor, you want to, and it's tax season, you're looking to reduce your tax bill, you need to spend 10 grand, just chuck it over here at the Crestone Energy Fair and make it all good. Because once this is covered, every additional dollar is going to go to 2024 and onward to pay those people. So we have the sound alone and the video equipment in the last 2 years has become exponentially so much more incredible and gives, credence to this event and the stuff we're doing. Things are improving exponentially and we need your help. I feel like I'm Jerry Lewis out here in a telephone. But
you're right.
If you're listening,
get these people to continue working with us in the professional way that they are. We have to pay them. We don't have any choice.
Agreed.
And they deserve to be paid because they are doing such a good job. And so it's up to me and Lisa to to find that money.
But and then part of that too, it's how do we engage everyone in the community to take that part and take that responsibility? It's kind of what we do with some of these other projects. It's whose responsibility is it? It's like, how do we start really coming together as the whole? Because if your audience isn't familiar, we're talking our food, we're talking the permaculture principles, we're talking our water, our regenerative agriculture in the valley, we're natural building, looking at local resources. And then really the most important part that we do is that do it yourself and that homeowner builder. We want to empower you to be able to build your own home, network for the resources and the builders, do the barn raising style, because we don't want people in this mortgage debt banking system and these structures. We want control and empowerment with our food, with our building, with our water, and how we live and how we
right. A mortgage is a death contract. That's literally the translation. And in places like this, which are far and few between, that Michael Reynolds of Earthship fame has called pockets of freedom, those are running out. And this event is literally the culmination of all the top in the field from all this natural building, sustainable stuff that you can do on the cheap. And you can come to this event, albeit it's in the middle of nowhere, for free. And you can learn all this stuff from the best in the field. So we are appealing to this is more of an international appeal. If you've never made it to the Crestone Energy Fair and you watch the live stream and you watch our podcast replays, and you get something out of it, the value of this event. It's tax deductible. If you're a millionaire, you can certainly dump $1,000 donation in here because it's just going to come off your taxes. So do the right thing, help us out so that we can pay the people that are being the change that everyone wants to see in the world.
It's true. Thank you so much.
Yeah. A lot of it, going back to the start where you guys were at, is there's that conflict resolution piece too. And it's continuing to try and look at like what models work, because if we're not getting along, then we still can't grow that food. You can't borrow the tractor and haul some things, or you can't get the straw bales to here. If we're not operating as a smooth community, and when you're in a small place, we're just a model. We're just a microcosm of the rest of the world. So if we can work through systems, it's like we want to really share that with everyone else of how do you figure it out and do it?
Well, it's pretty simple, Lisa. Community and resilience, sustainability, regenerative agriculture, none of that has any effing thing to do with politics. Zero. Right. So who do you support? What dumb you want me to think or believe in has nothing to do with how good our crops are. Zero, nothing. Finato. So if you don't like me because of my political stance or some things I believe in, and we're both trying to eat food, that is the dumbest thing in the world. We need to come together around these key regenerative and sustainable topics, which is growing food, growing community, sharing, surviving and thriving in these times. People are being literally, everyone is being demonetized in a sense. You know what I mean? You don't even have to be on YouTube. The amount of money you're paying for gas and groceries, it's blowing your mind. You're like, $86 for what? Like, you all know what I'm talking about. So collectively, we can all come together and start sharing more ideas on how to be more resilient in these times, because I don't see an end in the future. Does anyone see like it getting any better in the near future? It's going to get crazier. Guess what happens next year? The election. Holy macaroni. So we've got like the surprise before the election. Is it going to be aliens? Is it going to be World War III with Putin? Is it going to be nuclear bombs? Like, we need to start preparing and start thinking sensibly about what really matters in our life. And it certainly isn't electric cars or any of that dumb shit.
No. So it's strengthening our networks. I got to put a plug, anybody in Northern Indiana, Southern Michigan, I'm going to be here for a while. I've been doing this energy fair remote for the last year and flying back and forth, and that's not sustainable either. So
we got a big fan out there, James Crouch. He's a beekeeper. He can hook you up with bees and spread the love out there. He's right near you.
Sweet. Yeah. Cause it's just, I got to start building that community, and then my whole crew's got a place to stay. That's been happening as people are traveling across the country. Now they're starting to stop and we're hosting. And so it's just, how do we keep weaving all of these threads and pieces together with our knowledge? And it's exciting.
Good stuff. I'm stoked for any like pre-announcements on Crestone Energy Fair 2024.
I believe we know our theme, right?
Well, no, that you got to let the crew decide that.
Okay, fine.
We almost had a slip there.
Well, we've thrown it out there. One of the things we did was a community conversation, and that was to really engage the community. It was our local businesses, some of our town board, crew members, and to hear the real feedback. But then as we were getting into this, part of what we've done is we've gotten pretty big. Is now we might need to like kind of contract a little too. And so we said back to our roots. I'm back to my roots. I'm back with my mom. I'm, everyone too, the way things are going. It's like, how do we now, we've done, boy, what were they, Nick? We had this year was Reimagine. Before that was Reclaim.
Yep.
And the first year with COVID was
Connect.
Yeah. So, we're kind of like, okay, we've reconnected. We've reclaimed our rights. We've reimagined what we want our future to be. So now it's like, boom, we got to go back to those roots and remember, where are we strong? What are we doing? How do we branch out? And now we're not wavering. We're that strong tree holding it.
Right. Everyone now knows why grandma kept all the inner linings of all the cereal bags and all, folded up all the aluminum foil. I'd like open drawers and be like, what the hell is she keeping all this for? Duh. For now, when aluminum foil is $9 a roll.
Yeah.
And you don't want to throw it out. Yeah. You shouldn't be cooking on that anyway. It gives you Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah.
We know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy cast iron, dig a pit, bury a pig, cook a hog, learn how the olden times. I think that's we should go back. Let's think about a theme of the Energy Fair 2024, homesteading, the old ways or the old times or something like that, where we have people with skill sets on everything that everyone used to know, canning and just, way to make pemmican or survival food, just like nurturing things, how to make comfort food, how to cook even. Some people don't even know how to cook. It's like insane that meet people that do not cook ever. Like, how are you going to survive if the grid goes down? I mean, like, I can't. Hello, is anybody delivery? Like, it's just the world we live in is literally setting us up for failure. And the Energy Fair is really preventing that from happening. I think it's one of the most important things going on. And I really appreciate you guys. Awesome to get to know you over the years. And if you're out there listening, I can't implore you enough. It's Christmas. It's the giving season. So give to the Colorado or whatever it's called. What is it called?
It's Colorado Gives Day. or it's coloradogives.org, but you'd go specifically through Succeed Crestone Energy Fair. So if you typed in Crestone Energy Fair, you're going to just find us there. They do a really good job with their platform.
Well, and this is the website you'll come up on, right?
Yeah, that's the website you'll come up on, and you can look at other groups too that are really aligned, and it might help you with networking. It's nonprofits all across the state, so tons of people doing good work in all different areas. So if nothing else, it's a great educational platform to learn what's happening around Colorado right now.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your time. And let's sum it up here. I think it was a great fundraising message. I think people in the years and all the stuff we've been doing know that we're really changing the world one mind at a time. And the only way to really learn is to come out to the fair yourself and get your hands on these, to go into some of the alternative buildings, to do the home tours, to look at the workshops, to talk to the vendors and the people. You've got a diverse group of all political backgrounds all coming together for the same purpose. And that's resilience, self-reliance, sustainability, and a future that doesn't pollute the earth. I mean, there is so many ways to reuse, recycle, and repurpose. And we're doing it. You're doing it in the San Luis Valley, and it could be running out. That's why we need people to get along here, because the Swatch codes may be changing in the years coming. We need to build a community that's so resilient that they can fight back from these tyrannical rules that these globalists are trying to enforce on us. And there are a few bastions of freedom, and Swatch County is still one of them, the Crestone Energy Fair, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
35 years next year.
Yeah.
So, kind of one last positive thing, our crew, it was awesome. I just did all my calculations. We've got about 2,000 hours in, so when I started doing the National Volunteer Hour average, they would say it's like 35 an hour. Okay. That's, a mid-range rate for these professional services. So, we ended up, that was part of why our budget was so low, is because we had about 70,000 in kind of volunteer service hours just from that was just our crew, not all the volunteers who went through sign up, did the event, our sponsors, everyone else. So,
so at $12 an hour, that's $1 million of volunteer time.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And we're only asking for $15,000 worth of pledges here. So think about that if you're out there. $1 million worth of volunteer hours from this tiny community of just a few hundred, a few thousand if you go out into the Baca. There's not there. Trust me, if you've been in the San Luis Valley, there is very few people there. And half of them are really creepy. But the other half are cool, and they're at the Crestone Energy Fair.
We are. We try to be. Yeah.
Stay away from the bodies in Moffett.
Hey, that's where I moved. You got to watch it. That's
but Area 420 is banging, and there's lots of good things coming from that region. Yeah.
Joyful Journey.
Yes.
You
Hot
got a lot
Springs.
of good stuff out
there. We got the Seed Exchange coming up in April.
She's doing it at the end of March. I want to say it's March 30th.
Oh, it's going to be colder again. Well, I'll have to wear a sweater.
But that's another amazing event, folks. The San Luis
and none
Valley
of this
could
or will be possible without your help, which is why we're out here asking you to continue to support all the awesome stuff going on in the San Luis Valley, going on in Crestone, and be the change you want to see. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Lisa, for being awesome. Have a happy holiday and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Holidays. All right, we'll see you later. Thanks, Diamond.
And mulching all those oak leaves.
Yes, mulch them up. Let's make the beam.